welcome to another edition of Good Morning Plateau on PS 90.5 FM. My name is London Oswald Kumwar, and as always, it's a privilege to explore the intricacies of the stories, issues, innovations, and policies that continue to shape our communities and the future of Plateau State. On Good Morning Plateau, we set the agenda for discussions and debates on matters that affect our people, our communities, and the development of Plateau State. Plateau State is blessed with a beautiful landscape, a pleasant climate, rich cultural heritage, and diverse attractions. But beyond the beauty that nature has given lies a big question. How do we transform these advantages into sustainable opportunities for our people while creating cities, communities that are organized, attractive, and economically productive? Tourism and urban development may appear to be separate in separate areas, but the reality is that they are connected. Tourist destinations require roads, accommodation, clean surrounding, security, and functional infrastructure. A growing population requires decent and affordable housing, and a modern economy requires cities that are properly planned, accessible, environmentally sustainable, and capable of supporting businesses and investments. For Plateau State, these issues are particularly important as the Greater Jos continues to expand and the state seeks to position itself as a destination for tourism, investment, and enterprise. That brings us to today's conversation. Our theme is building a beautiful plateau, tourism, housing, urban development for economic growth. Joining us live in the studio to discuss the program is the Honorable Commissioner of Information and Communication, Plateau State, Honorable Joyce Ramnap, who is overseeing the Ministry of Tourism. We also have with us in the studio live the Commissioner of Housing and Urban Development, that is Silvernus Dongtoe. With us too in the studio live this morning is the lead consultant of the Greater Jos Master Plan, that is Mr. Stephen Hirsi. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Good Morning Plateau this morning.
Good morning to you in the studio, and good morning to the good people of Plateau State.
Good morning. All right. So thank you so much. Thanks so much for honoring our invitation. Right, Honorable Commissioner of Information and Communication, we're going to start with you. You are overseeing the tourism ministry at the moment. Plateau State has long been described as a tourist destination because of its beautiful sites. From your perspective, as Commissioner overseeing tourism, what is the current state of tourism in Plateau State, and what is the vision for making Plateau State a leading tourism destination in Nigeria?
Thank you very much again. Good morning to us. Can you permit me to first speak as the Commissioner of Information to lay the foundation for this discussion today?
That's important.
I have over time been trying to explain the drive for the development we're getting on the plateau based on the developmental strides of this administration of Barrister Caleb Manasseh Mutfwang, building on the three-pillar thrust of giving good governance to the good people of Plateau State, security, and to unite the people of Plateau State. The second leg is for us to have economic development as a way to take Plateau State out of where we are, and then of course infrastructural development. Now if you want to build on these foundations, you have to do more of the foundational work of getting it right at the first stage, and some of it is what we're looking at today. To get this foundation is, one, to have a plan that is put in place, two, to have a backing policy that is put in place. And for the economy of the state to thrive, there are certain things that we must begin to plan from now to ensure that we get it right in the future. And one of those is to ensure that first, to get the policy of having a master plan. The master plan, the experts of master plans are here, so they will talk about the master plan in its totality. But you know that for us to have that strong economy, this administration has picked on three areas to build on. One is agriculture. Two is tourism. Three is the mining sector. So these are some of the sectors that we are going to be placing much emphasis on and be deliberate about our planning around them and the policies that we put that will drive that process to build a stronger economy for the people of Plateau State and for our children even unborn. So the tourism is one sector that this administration is going to be looking at, being that God has blessed us with natural endowments that calls for people to come see and to also have experience of it. Even us within Plateau State, you can see what happened during the last year's Unity Christmas Carol. You can see the lighting ceremonies that you do here, even in PRTV, and so many other attractions that we bring to the state. The idea of building that strong tourism is for us to be able to have something that will not only be an advantage for us as a people in the state, but also will attract investors, to attract tourists. Every person that leaves his destination to come to Plateau has several layers of advantages for us as a people in the state, and this is why we're paying attention to how we're going to develop this. Now, what the master plan is intertwined with the tourism is to identify some of these areas that we need to have them situated. We need to protect these areas. We need to have some kind of buffer for it to be sure that it's safe for all these potentials that we already have. So like I said, let me allow the experts in the master plan to talk about it, but just for you to have a background as to why this administration is doing all the much that it's doing beyond building infrastructure, is putting certain things in place to protect it, to make sure that it is safe for the future.
All right, Honorable Commissioner of Housing and Urban Development, the ball is in your court. Housing and urban development are fundamental to the growth of any modern city. What is the current situation of housing and development in Plateau State, particularly in Jos and other growing urban centers?
Well, quite challenging. Good morning once again, Plateau. I think what is before us situations that since we came in trying to address. The situation in housing is quite very, very challenging, very critical. I think we have taken measures to see how we can address them. As a matter of fact, when we came on board under the leadership of our amiable governor, Barrister Caleb Mutfang, his focus on seeing that, yes, he impact positively on the lives of people through providing affordable housing, houses. As a matter of fact, he did not waste time. I think one of the basic thing that he needed to do to see that, yes, we acquired a piece of land, and then there we can take it from there. I think what we have done so far is to acquire 50 hectares of land in Bisichi that I can tell you has been cleared. That of Family Home Support 2 has been acquired 40 hectares. As a matter of fact, the Renewal Hope Housing Scheme is a collaboration between the state and the federal government. We have since submitted the CFO of that place to Ministry of Housing, awaiting their response. As a matter of fact, too, I think the government trying to see that the civil servants are well accommodated through affordable houses. It's paid in compensation 256 million. The NLC housing scheme at Mayango. You're aware that the governor flagged off the construction some times back. And also, we inherited an abandoned housing estate started by Babajang. And when I came in and this government came in, I think we tried to see why that project had stopped. And to our knowledge, base of our knowledge, they had issues with the landowners who were not fully compensated. We approached Ministry of Justice. I think we're trying to address that as soon as possible. And I think by the grace of God, once that is done, now we have the 100-unit housing estate being revisited, and then the contractor will resume work on site. As a matter of fact, we've provided the necessary infrastructure there. The road network has been almost been done with all the drainages in place. Some of the houses when the project stopped, was even at completion stage. Some of them were roofed, but unfortunately been vandalized now. So we are looking also, trying to see how we could come up with the policy, and I think also creating that enabling environment for private developers to come on board. And as a matter of fact, what is key, trying to do that one, to achieve that one, is the Greater Jos Master Plan, because it creates that enabling environment that will attract people to come in and put in their money in the housing sector. So as the master plan is being reviewed, I think to us is the driver to achieving, the housing needs of people of Plateau State. And I can tell you, I think so far so good with what we have in place. We've received recommendations, and I think quite a lot of people have been coming to us. There are quite a lot of proposals from private developers to partner with Plateau State, and trying to achieve the deficit. Trying to see that we meet up, the deficit we have in place. We have 252,000 housing deficit in Plateau State. In Plateau State, wow. On 200, and I think I just came back from Abuja. That's a statistic before us, even though we are validating the statistics. It could be more than that. Nationally, we have there's a lot of argument whether it's 14.8, whether it's 18 million. But I'm sure when we met in Abuja some days back, we are trying to see through what we are doing now, the review of the Jos Master Plan. I think that will also give us. We are working in collaboration with National Population Commission, and I think it's part of what they are doing. To be able for us to ascertain the housing deficit, and then for us to address it squarely. So I think so far so good. That's what we have in place, and once this is we are able to get to the level, the housing needs of people of Plateau State would have been addressed, to some extent.
It will be exciting to see what will happen after the implementation of all these wonderful plans you just mentioned. We go back to you, the lead consultant, Greater Jos Master Plan, Mr. Stephen Hirsey. What is the current status of the master plan? A lot of people in Plateau State will be excited to find out what is currently happening at your table at the moment.
Oh, thank you very much. Good morning, Plateau.
Good morning, sir.
What is happening at the moment is we have been commissioned, by the time is now administration of Barrister Caleb Motfang to review, the current master plan of the city of Jos. It is important to mention that the city of Jos has had two other master plans, one prepared in 1975, and then the second one came up in 2010. And that one expired in 2025, which is last year. So it is incumbent, so that there is not a vacuum, in the development of the city, that another plan is prepared so that it can guide the development of the city. A master plan is supposed to be a document that guides the development of a city and is visionary in the sense that you look into the future, what you intend to. So this plan that we are preparing is supposed to give us, we are supposed to give the government a picture of what the city of Jos will be in 2050. And then also prepare the program of how, this picture can be attained, within the time frame that has been set. So the process has already started. We have done traffic surveys. And to prepare the plan, I need to mention that you consider all aspects of what constitute meaningful livelihood within the city. Transport, you have to consider. Housing, you have to look at. Services include hospitals, schools, and all the other things. Infrastructure, roads, water, electricity. You have to consider all these things and the population that will be requiring and will be housed within the city. You have to consider that, so that as you project into the future, you are able to project adequately and make adequate provisions for the things that will be expected in 20, 25 years to come. So we have started. At the moment, the land use survey is ongoing. The land use survey is to tell us the picture of every inch of land within the planning area. What is it being put used for? So you capture all that. When you capture all that, you will now be able to know the proportion of what land is going for transportation, what land is going to housing, what land is going to services, and so on and so forth. Because there's a proportion, a mix. The mix has to be right. So without getting the position of the existing situation, you are not able to project into the future to see what the mix will be. So we are doing that at the moment. And very soon too, we will be going to household surveys. Household surveys will give us the socioeconomic background of the people and also their aspirations. What do they want to see in Jos by 2050? Because we are planning for the people. It's not for us, it's for the people. So we'll go back to them to find out what they want. And then we will incorporate into the plan. We have had also a series of stakeholder engagement to discuss with the people what we have seen and how they want it to be. Because we don't want to prepare a plan that will only satisfy our own interests. No. Because we may not live here. And even that, beyond that, we may not be alive. But we are planning for people that are going to be alive, who will live. So we will go back to them, find out from them their household structure, their socioeconomic needs, and so on, so that it is inbuilt in the plan.
All right, it will be so exciting to maybe hear some other time how the other, the plan that the one that just elapsed at 2025. What are the gaps and how has it been more than just a policy? But then our discussion is beyond that for today. So we return to you, Right Honorable Joyce Ramnap. I'm sure you must have been excited with the interconnectedness between the Ministry of Tourism and Housing when you began overseeing the ministry. Particularly, Plateau people are excited about the hotels. So much lip service have been paid to Plateau Hotel, Hill Station Hotel, and other hotels that are highly, some of these hotels that the state government has been involved in over time. Now, so people would want to know what is being done at the Plateau Hotel, Hill Station Hotel, that is different from what has been done in time past.
Thank you. Again, I'm not just excited about what is being done now, but I'm just excited that we're beginning to project a future for our children, even children unborn. We're beginning to take Plateau, the beautiful, from where it is to a modern city that can match civilization anywhere. So that's my excitement to start with. What this government is doing is the intentionality in ensuring that we get it right from the foundation. For me, that's an excitement that we get these foundations right. We don't want to build in the castles in the air, but we want to put the foundations that will stand the test of time. Like the scripture will say that if the foundation is not right, there's nothing you can do. And we do not want to begin to look at gaps that have existed in the policies of the past or in the master plans of the past. But we want to be able to build a plateau that can take us to the future, because whatever was done then was to the best of one's ability. That's what I keep saying about leadership, that is to the best of our ability. The leaders in the past, they've laid the foundation to the best of their ability, and we want to build on that. We don't want to condemn, but to build on that. Now, for the tourism sector, yes, the Hill Station and the Plateau Hotel was one project that we gained from, leaning from the integrity of and the political will of the leader of this administration, Barrister Caleb Mutfwang. No one will invest his resources on what he's not sure of. And for us to get a private participation to fund this project, to improve on the quality of what, in fact, is not even improve, it's like bringing down that old this thing, not destroying the structure in any case, but to be able to bring that structure to what it is like today. It is amazing. We were there on an inspection, which is Excellency, some couple of weeks back, to see the level of the progress that has been made there. And I'm glad to announce to you that in the nearest future, even though the investors are giving us this October 31st as when they want that the hill station to be open officially, they said 1st of October, but the governor said we can be magnanimous with you to open by 31st of October. Part of hill station should be open to the general public for use, and that's the joy of it. The memory around it, the memory of what that institution is for us in the state is already a tourist site already. We have the Plateau Hotel, we have the Queen's Room back in the days, and all sorts of things that we're doing, and the kind of creativity they're adding to the value of the hill station and Plateau Hotel is very commendable. Now, we also, because we are projecting a better Plateau, we also want to get certain things right. And this is why, besides what the master plan is, the tourism also has its own master plan, which the state government is working in line with the UNDP to put together a comprehensive master plan also that will take us to beyond just bringing people to the state, but to also protect our heritage, our tourist heritage. You know, there are certain areas that is some place that give it the next 100 years is something you look at and you marvel at the nature, what nature has endowed Plateau with. So now this master plan in tourism sector will also give a protection for these areas, and also give a plan as to how we keep developing our tourism to meet up with the trends of event globally. And then the hotels you mentioned here, with Hill Station. Hill Station will set a standard for hotels, but we are also beginning to look at the direction of getting our hotels to function with regulations. That has been something that has been missing on the Plateau. You know, you just go online and put 4-star hotel. If you see all manner of hotel that will show up and say they are 4 stars, and people will come, and this is below standard of what a 4-star should be or a 3-star should be. So we are working on getting regulation for hotel operators, and so this is already, I'm just giving into preparing the minds of hotel owners to know that we also want to get the standards right with them. If you must operate it according to the standard and the regulations that we will lay down for you as how your hotel should function. But the idea is for you to do your service better. So if people are coming to have experience in Plateau, they should have a full package experience. And part of what makes tourism thrive is in the hospitality industry is accommodation and the food. So even restaurants are also going to key in to be able to build menus that have menus that is really giving people experiences. People travel to go to places to go and eat certain types of meals. It's because of the experience that they have gotten from these meals. And all these are components of tourism. So these are some of the things that we're going to be looking at.
All right, Commissioner Housing, how involved is your ministry in what is being done at Hill Station Hotel?
Well, being the supervising ministry of all building projects in Plateau State, I think our role is to ensure that quality and standard is to some extent being achieved. I think, like she mentioned, some of the buildings I could say they are listed in the fact that, they really tell us stories about Plateau State, those people that were there long ago before now. She mentioned the Queen's Room. I think it is about really providing the basic necessary things. We've changed the facade. How does it look? How good is it? But I think what is very key to us, being the supervising ministry in building projects, to ensure that yes, we have the very exciting the buildings to that standard, that you have any other place in the world. If these hotels are built, to the standard, we're talking about maybe raising the standard to about 4-star hotel. What do we have in other, societies, other places? Does it meet the standard required? The technicalities. You understand? Structurally, is it okay? So I think we saddle with that. So we've been there from time to time. We go to ensure that yes, the best is provided for us, even though it's a PPP arrangement. So I think that's our aspect, because here we are also. We talked about preserving what we have, through the master plan. So Plateau Hotel Hill Station, they are iconic buildings. They are facilities that we not want to toy with. So they are also part of the master plan, because sadly, you understand what we see around those areas. That's some of the land being encouraged. We have buildings springing up, haphazardly, and that distorts some of the natural features we have around that areas. So with the master plan, I'm sure Ministry of Housing, is collaborating with Ministry of Tourism, and particularly now that the structures are being remodeled and then upgraded, to see that we maintain certain standards. She talked about buffer. Driving around Hill Station, what do you see? You feel you are in a different world because of the exciting features. The scenery, is quite exciting, second to none. And if you run in this country, so we need to come out with plans, workable plans, to ensure that these facilities are real self-guided with the natural features. And then also time will come that some of the buildings would be listed. Do you understand? And once they are listed, you can see that they form part of the structures. You go to France, some of these developed countries, those buildings are everywhere, and then they become tourist attractions once they are listed, because they have history.
Yeah, so but I digress a little, because you mentioned some issues earlier that I want to just talk about. Now, a lot of housing estates are being initiated by the Mutfwang administration.
Yes.
A lot of citizens are concerned that for a long time, the administration, the state government, Plateau state governments in and out, have not delivered on a major housing project in Plateau State. What are the chances that before 2027 the Mutfwang administration will deliver on at least one major housing project in the state?
Yeah, there are quite very, very bright chances. I can tell you that the one at Kugia, we're almost done. So I think I told you we resorted to out-of-court settlement. We've been meeting with Ministry of Justice. I'm sure as soon as possible, once we're able to address that, we settle, we resume work on site. I told you site and services already provided. We have layouts being done on that estate. The contractor was on site before the work was abandoned. I think all we need to do is just to work that. We have done that already. So once we are done with the out-of-court settlement and we agree with the landowners, I think that's, I will tell you, the closest. And then I told you some weeks back, we've been in Abuja. We've been meeting with we met with the Minister for Housing and Urban Development. They had promised us, in fact, the project should have kick-started. Last May, we rushed to ensure that we meet up our own side of our obligation, trying to having acquired the site and then clear it. So we did the follow-up some few days back. We went and we met him. They assured us that any moment from now they look at our case and then also committed. So I think that's the closest. And I mentioned to you earlier the issues with the NLC housing project. We have little issues we are trying to address. And as a matter of fact, because work had started and had to stop because of some issues, that issues are being addressed. As soon as that is done, I'm sure the contractor, the developer will go back to site. So it's in fact, we still have about a year, let's say 11 to 10 months is enough. You can build houses, the build environment, I know what it takes. Once the resources are available, 10 months is enough for you to deliver, you understand? So I can assure you that at least we are close to getting there. By the grace of God, if these issues are addressed, we will have something delivered to the people of Plateau State and the housing sector.
Okay.
Can you just permit me just chip in? To say the least, that this administration is thinking in the right direction and taking steps to ensuring that we build this plateau of our dream is good enough. The much we can do, I have always said that the government of Mr. Caleb Mutfwang is not political. He is not mindful that this is a political era. He is laying foundations to build a sustained future for Plateau. In any case, in the event that we are not able to complete all of these initiatives, thankfully there's another timeline of 4 years available. Will you even drive that process to ensure that Barrister Caleb Mutfwang returns back as the governor to complete all these projects that were laid out? So that was why I was smiling to myself.
Right. Laying a solid foundation in the housing and tourism sector for Plateau State. This morning we've been discussing building a beautiful plateau, tourism, housing and urban development for economic growth with the Honorable Commissioner of Information and Communication, who is overseeing the tourism ministry at the moment. That's the Right Honorable Joyce Ramnap. We also have in the studio live the Honorable Commissioner of Housing and Urban Development, Silvernus Dongtoe, who has returned to the ministry for a second time. We've not discussed that, but then we also have the lead consultant of the Greater Jos Master Plan, Mr. Stephen Hirsey. Our studio line will be open after the break so that you can add your voice to the conversation. Join us shortly. Welcome back to Good Morning Plateau on Peace 90.5 FM. This morning we've been holding an interesting conversation with representatives from the Plateau State Executive Council, that is the Commissioner overseeing the Ministry of Tourism, Right Honorable Joyce Ramnap, and the Commissioner of Urban Development, Housing and Urban Development, Silvernus Dongtoe, as well as the lead, the team lead of that's lead consultant Greater Jos Master Plan, Mr. Stephen. He'll say the conversation is on building a beautiful Plateau State tourism, housing and urban renewal for economic development. We are also streaming live on YouTube, and you can also join the conversation on Facebook at PRTVC Official. The studio number is 0812588 6048. You can call in and add your voice to the conversation. Hello. Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning, the Honorable Commissioner for Information and the Commissioner overseeing the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Hospitality. Joyce Ramnap in the studio.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, the Honorable Commissioner for Housing and Urban Development.
Good morning.
Good morning, Gozo.
Thank you very much, Mr. Landon. The two commissioners have spoken very well about bringing the Plateau tourism, culture and hospitality and the master plan of the city. Plateau has been known as the home of peace and tourism. There should be a synergy between the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development and the Jos Metropolitan Development Board, headed by Architect Bankers, in terms of greater Jos master plan. The government should have the political will to control more housing to the civil servants, because many of the civil servants cannot afford to rent an apartment because it is very expensive. The basic social amenities of human beings is food, clothes, and shelter. The security of the people in terms of investing in the Jos master plan is very important, because not any investor would like to come and invest in an atmosphere of insecurity. The Jos master plan should not be in the urban area alone. The rural area should try to benefit from the Jos master plan. Honestly, in terms of infrastructure development, there should be a sustainability in terms of the Jos master plan. The people should be carried along in the Jos master plan, like the town hall meeting across the 17 local government of the state. The Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Hospitality should try to bring the luxury of the Pandan Game Reserve, the Wisdom Hotel in Tashi, and the Plateau and East Station Hotel, and also the Solomon Land Amusement Park, and also the Wildlife Park. But my most concern is that some of the tourism sector are in dilapidated condition. The government should try to see some of the dilapidated structures so that more investors would like to come and invest in the tourism sector. Some people are saying that answerable to the people of Plateau State. We should do our part instead before any other thing. The master plan should not be satisfied or compromised. The interest of Plateau should supersede the interest of an individual. I want to give kudos to Isa. I want to know whether the Ministry of Housing and Tourism whether the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development have any synergy with the Federal Housing Authority in terms of the housing scheme of the civil servant, and whether the Jos master plan will increase the internally generated revenue of the IGR, and what are they doing in terms of the abandoned project, in terms of the Jos master plan, because government is about continuity. That is my own opinion, Mr. Landon, and the two honorable commissioners in the studio. Have a lovely day, and God bless you.
Thank you so much, Gorzo, for your profound contribution on Good Morning Plateau this morning. And we have another caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello, how are you?
Wonderfully well. Who's on the line?
I'm Peace Ambassador Caleb Lamerle from Boys Secondary School, Indri, Radio Senator.
Good morning, Radio Senator, Peace Ambassador Caleb Lamerle.
What the two girls are saying is, development and tourist attraction is the engine room of the society, which is properly maintained. I went to Kabu. There is a place what they call Kremsol, which is second to Kurapul, also attract people to come and see that falls there. Beside that fall, beside the Kremsol, you discover that there is what we call Amzomtodong. There is small forest there. You will see water is very cold like the fridge. So you discover that if government can visit that place, it will attract people to come, and even developers will come to that place. And the same place in Kabu, there is what we call Zulbal. When we get into Zulbal, there is a flat area in the valley. The government can get there and see. There was a time I took students there and I asked them, they said that this land can be converted to sport or retreat center with restaurant or hotels and so on and so forth. So this place, back to Gendry, there is a forest known as Malena Forest, which is the first full-made forest by DSS students. And if government can come and test that place, because there was a time, a student from the University of Ghana, they came to on a occasional visit. I took them there and they said that this place needs to be fenced. So we discovered that this small school-made forest, it attracts people all the time. And besides one, there is another place known as Duke Lumber, the same in Kendry. If the state can visit that place and convert it to tourist center area so that will attract the revenue to the community, revenue to the local government, and revenue to the state council. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Peace Ambassador Caleb Lamerle, Plateau State in Kagu, that's in Panshin South, a valley and a falls, as well as other places that we will take note of. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Across the 17 local governments of Plateau State, And this tourism potential should be identified by government from the tourism sector. I want to commend the commissioner particularly. It's not easy overseeing two ministries at the same time, but it shows that the commissioner is up and doing. She's a woman with a difference. So I will reward you abundantly for what you are doing for Plateau people. Be better for it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Thank you so much. Isaac Itse, the radio speaker, full of commendation for the Honorable Commissioner for Information and Communication, who at the moment is doing a double job. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
National court, one of content creators and our bloggers in the state to learn how to promote all our tourist sites in the state. Because I can tell you that there is one Ghanaian who are using, they have their waterfalls there. So they are using it from the first charity. And that particular video is actually going viral online. So I don't know if the Ministry of Tourism, Plateau, they actually have a website. And when somebody, wherever you are in the world, you can click into that website and you can go through all our tourist sites. I think that can also help. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mandom. Isaac is asking, do you have a website where the state? I think that's an important question. I'm reading few voices from our YouTube page. One is saying, I want to say well done to Right Honorable Joyce Ramnap, MNI, for the work at the Ministry of Tourism, and to Architect Silvernus Dongtoe, the Honorable Commissioner for Housing and Urban Development. Thank you so much for thinking about how to make Plateau attractive again. With our weather, hills, culture, and festivals, Plateau has everything it takes. We appreciate that both ministries are working now together to turn that potential into jobs, hotels, and
the housing caller mentioned about collaboration. We have been talking to ensure that the promise they made, taking over the family home support, which we've acquired land, about 50 hectares of land, cleared it and are waiting their own response. There's quite a lot on ground. Like I said, we need to set the ground running. We have to have something in place, very concrete in place, like the Honorable Commissioner said. We need concrete measures on ground. If the issue of the housing estate in Kugia was addressed long ago, we wouldn't have been going through that. So, but then as a government, we need to listen to people. They are part of us. Since that project is meant to cater for all, that's why we are giving them that fair hearing, the landowners. I think once that is done, as I earlier mentioned, so because it creates that, it will be in place. The agencies that are saddled with the responsibility of providing houses that we've made with FB and Federal Mortgage Bank, I think they've given us their words that they will be coming. Last week when I was with them, they said they will be coming to Plateau State to inspect some of the sites we have mentioned. And as a matter of fact, we take it from there. We've met with Federal Housing Authority, some other PMIs. So these are just what we have on ground. So into it, at least to some extent, that will reduce the deficit, and it will go a long way to bring succor.
All right, lead consultant, Greater Jos Master Plan, Mr. Stephen Hirse Gwarzo, was asking if the Greater Jos Master Plan has any potential to increase the state's IGR and economic development generally.
Okay, thank you very much for the question. Yes, it has. For example, when money and COOs are given, allocations are made, and so on, revenue is dragged in through that process. As all other areas of the town, the value of the properties also increase. And then the property rights that is due to government from those
website www.plateau.ng.org as our collective platform where it will direct you to any MDA that you want. We have the one-stop shop for Plateau, where it gives you the potentials for investors, where you can get information about our sectors. However, the part of what we're doing as the Just Master Plan is to be able to have a comprehensive tourism website that is strictly for the tourism potentials, the heritage sites we have, and those areas where people can go for relaxation. So these are ongoing conversations and ongoing developmental strides that we're taking to be able to give at the end of the day. Hopefully by September 27, we should be able to launch that. If we launch that document, everything that you're looking for, you will be able to find it in terms of concerning our tourism sector and the drive. Now, having said that, I want to say that yes, whatever we're doing it in synergy, because government is not just a straight line. There are intersections and there are meeting points where we meet to be able to deliver as to projects and areas of collaboration. So for the tourism, we are also part of what we're going to do is we're going to go around again. We're putting the instrument together where it will guide us on how to identify more tourist sites to add to what we already have in the ministry. So for those new areas that we're discovering, yes, if you have them, you can reel it out to us. At the local government levels, we'll be meeting with them to do that. However, for me, it's such a joy to see that we are beginning to think more of the future of Plateau State, and that for me is the joy in what the administration of Barrister Caleb Mutfwang is doing.
And that will be it for this morning's edition of Good Morning Plateau. We sincerely thank you, our guests, the important insights you brought to our conversation this morning. Architect Silvernus Dongtoe, the Honorable Commissioner for Housing and Urban Development. Thank you so much, Mr. Stephen Hirsey, who is the lead consultant of the Greater Just Master Plan. And to the Right Honorable Joyce Ramnap, the Honorable Commissioner for Information and Communication, who is overseeing the Tourism Ministry. Thank you so much for joining us and bringing tourism perspectives to today's conversation. Stay tuned, stay informed, and continue being part of conversations that shape our society. This is Good Morning Plateau, where every story matters and every voice counts. On behalf of the executive producer of the program, Rita Kacholong-Pam, supervising producers Hudun Jiang and Esther Nasara, producers Nandak Dashi, who is an IT student with PLASU, Inga Samuel, Titus Datus, and then we have from the ICT cell ball Simon Abati Seth, yes, and Paul Yangzi Patrick. Duty continuity in announcer, the relentless Vina Adams. Studio manager Samaela Marco, engineer Babali Titus. From the newsroom, Missy Allen covered Good Morning Plateau. We have so many IT students from PLASU, Nile University, and the Federal University, Kashiri. My name is Nandom Oswald Kumwari. Join us tomorrow again.